Hello everyone, subscribe to my channel to not miss new trending manhwa.
A celebratory announcement declares, finally graduated amidst cheers against a vibrant sunset. Strolling through a neon-lit city, one student questions the daily grind of exams when supernatural powers are paramount, while another reasons it's basic education since not everyone can make a living off such abilities. The conversation reveals their school has students unable to afford power books, who must wait for government assignment upon joining the military academy. Another student expresses disbelief and a hint of jealousy, exclaiming, "What the heck?" at the idea of free power books after their family spent a fortune. A different voice chimes in, suggesting there's little to envy as free books likely offer inferior skills, and military academy is a last resort for obtaining powers, if not for its 2-year requirement post-graduation. The focus then shifts to the truly enviable individuals, those born with supernatural powers, hailed as the true chosen ones whose sharing of abilities enabled others to become users. A green-haired girl, glancing around cautiously, interjects that these innately powered individuals had no choice in their situation. She elaborates that with the Daoki at their doorstep, everyone would have been doomed without them, before admitting her own fear of fighting and preference for others to handle the battlefield. With confidence, the green-haired girl reveals her father has arranged for her to level up her enhancement power to 5 in the academy, after which she'll inherit the family's fashion business. Suddenly, a striking red-haired student named Rail arrives, causing a stir as others exclaim, "Oh," admire his appearance, and wonder about his future academy assignment. One girl gushes that Rayla is definitely the best, being the only student in their year to achieve level 4. The green-haired girl quietly approaches him, asking, Rayla, can I talk to you for a sec?" He turns, recognizing her, and she hesitantly inquires if he's available for dinner tonight. Just as Rayla mentions he has no specific plans, a dark-haired student with glasses dashes past, yelling, "Hey, stop right there if you've got guts." The fleeing student provocatively holds up a middle finger, taunting, "Did you see how many fingers I held up, loser?" He continues his tirade, shouting, "Damn you, looking for trouble. Don't let me catch you again," as he and a companion run away. Glancing back with a sneer, the troublemaker mockingly exclaims, "Ooh, I'm so scared," while still gesturing rudely at Rayla. An exclamation of shock escapes the taunting student as an unseen force seemingly intercepts him. Now sprawled on the pavement, the boy clutches his head, whimpering, "It hurts." As Rayla and the green-haired girl observe, the green-haired girl steps closer to the fallen student, concerned, asking, "Hey, are you okay?" To which he responds with a confused huh. The green-haired girl, clutching a book, exclaims, "Hey," and then yells at the fallen troublemaker, "Run, try running again, try running again." Meanwhile, the dark-haired student with glasses is shown kicking the down troublemaker and his friend, taunting, "Still want to count how many fingers I'm holding? Come on, hold yours up for me now," as the victim groans. Rayla, observing this, calmly forms a green energy sphere in his outstretched hand, aiming it towards the dark-haired student with glasses. This green energy blast then shoots forward, striking the dark-haired student with glasses, who lets out a cry of "Waah." He is sent flying and crashes hard onto the pavement, prompting onlookers to question, "What's going on? What happened? It's the last day, and they're still fighting." Rayla stands over the now coughing dark-haired student whose glasses lie broken nearby, and remarks, "Watch where you're going next time, loser," while the student's companions mutter, "That black-haired guy again, ugh, him again, and lame, let's go." As Rayla and the green-haired girl walk away, the companions of the fallen student comment, "Hey, you got lucky to even take one hit from Rayla. Normally, you wouldn't even get to stand next to him," and another asks, "You pity him?" To which the first replies, "Of course not. I just didn't realize it was him," adding, "On the last day, and he still brings trouble. Better watch yourself and stay out of our way." A silhouetted figure picks up the fallen student's glasses as to bystanders remark, "What happened? I feel like I missed a good show. And oh, that guy, isn't he kinda known too? What was his name again?" One bystander identifies him as from our class Gwen or something, and another derisively adds, "Still no supernatural powers, just a freeloader living on subsidies," while a third asks, "You don't even know your classmate's name. What, wanna go be friends with him or something?" To which the first scoffs, "He'd probably be happy to, haha. Thanks, but no thanks, I'm afraid trash is contagious, ha," as a narrative box states, "Yeah, in this era, not having supernatural powers is a sin." A final narrative box appears, declaring, "Forget fighting the Daoki, just being in school gets you discriminated against," followed by a close-up of Quinn's determined, slightly bruised face as he exhales. A news broadcast announces the 5th anniversary of the peace treaty with the Daoki. while noting that despite global peace, some regions still face unrest and calling for mutual support. Quinn walks down a set of stairs in a neon-lit alley, reflecting that he's reporting to the military academy tomorrow. And if he still can't awaken a supernatural power, things probably won't change. He enters a dimly lit room with a creak, his determined, bruised face shown in close-up as he remains silent. Quinn opens an old wooden chest, revealing a sinister-looking power book with a monstrous cover. The scene transitions to a flashback, indicated by the text 6 years ago against a sparkling dark background. Two men in dark suits stand at a doorway, one asking, "Excuse me, is this the home of Quinn Talon?" A much younger, bespectacled Quinn nervously answers, "Yes, you are?" As the men identify themselves as official agents of the Special Task Force, the agents solemnly inform the young boy, "We regret to inform you, your parents died in the war with the Daoki," adding that they found no other relatives or potential foster families. One of the silhouetted agents explains that until Quinn comes of age, the government will cover his tuition and living expenses. Also mentioning this is part of the inheritance left by his parents. The agent clarifies there's no cash, but this power book might be worth something, and it's up to Quinn whether to sell or keep it, before asking him to sign some documents if everything is in order. Young Quinn, with a hesitant expression, clutches the mysterious power book. He wonders why his mom and dad had to go to war, leaving him all alone with this power book he can't even open. With a frustrated grunt, Quinn tries with all his might to pry the book open, but it remains sealed. Sighing in resignation, he figures he'll have to accept the government-issued one at the academy since this one won't budge. Quinn mournfully wishes they'd left him a photo instead of this locked power book, as he can barely recall their faces anymore. As he reflects, a few drops of blood begin to fall from his nose. The crimson droplets land directly onto the eerie, bone-like carvings of the power book's cover. Realizing his nose is bleeding again, Quinn exclaims he must have pressed too hard and grabs a tissue. He quickly wipes the blood from the book, noting thankfully that the surface is still wipeable. Quinn's eyes widen in surprise as a red glow suddenly emanates from the book, and he utters a confused "huh?" Quinn stares in astonishment as the power book in his hands suddenly emits a vibrant red glow, with tendrils of energy crackling around it. An explosion of crimson energy erupts from the book, engulfing Quinn, who utters a bewildered "huh," as the room is filled with swirling power. With a look of sheer disbelief, Quinn exclaims, "What's this?" The book opened. As its pages flare with an intense light, the potent red energy swirls violently around him, and he lets out another surprised "huh." A concentrated beam of light shoots from the open book directly into Quinn's forehead, making him cry out, "WH, what is this?" He lets out a piercing "AAHHHHH" as the information or power floods into his mind, his body thrown back by the force. Quinn continues to vocalize his agony with "ah," before collapsing and weakly uttering, "Ugh." Now on his knees, Quinn clutches his throbbing head, surrounded by lingering wisps of red energy, and groans, "Erg, my head, it hurts." A translucent blue system window materializes before a dazed Quinn, displaying the message, "Congratulations, you have obtained vampire blood," while he, now with glowing red eyes, dazedly questions, "I got vampire. What?" Completely overwhelmed, Quinn lies unconscious on the floor, with faint, ghostly apparitions drifting around his still form. In a flashback, a young Quinn watches other children play soccer and hesitantly says, "Me," hoping to join. He then approaches them asking, "Can I join you?" and adds, "I want to be with you guys too." As they turn to look, the children cruelly reject him, with one saying, "Quinn, stay away from us. We don't want to be associated with you," while another scoffs, "Why bother with him? Orphans don't know manners." The memory shifts to the two agents holding framed portraits, solemnly informing a shocked young Quinn, "Quinn, your parents died in the war." Tears well up in young Quinn's eyes as the devastating news sinks in, his expression filled with silent grief. A mysterious, hooded figure reflected in a portrait seems to whisper his name repeatedly, "Quinn, Quinn, Quinn." Still caught in the nightmare, Quinn cries out his own name, "Quinn," as tears stream down his face. Quinn abruptly awakens on the floor, gasping, "huh?" Startled from his troubled sleep with the name Quinn Talon echoing. Outside his door, two figures stand waiting, one warning, "I'll count to 3. If you don't open the door," as a bus rumbles past below. As the count reaches TWO, Quinn scrambles up, shouting "coming," and hurries to answer the door. Sergeant Griff impatiently asks Quinn, "What's going on? You're just opening now." As Quinn apologizes, "Sorry, I overslept." The sergeant, not wanting to waste more time, gives Quinn 2 minutes to grab his things and get in the vehicle. Quinn, panicking about how he slept so long, remembers coming home and looking at the ability book. then exclaims, right? The ability book. He thinks with wide eyes, I think I opened it, then. Quinn then exclaims, my glasses. Noticing they are broken again and lamenting that he really needs a new pair. Wiping his eye, Quinn remarks, that's strange. I seem to. He realizes with disbelief, I'm not nearsighted anymore. The sergeant yells from outside, Quinn Talon, how long do you want to keep us waiting? Making Quinn shout, coming. As Quinn rushes to the vehicle with his suitcase, the sergeant scolds him for being slow and tells him to find a seat, to which Quinn replies, yes. Quinn hesitantly asks Rayla, excuse me, could I get in? But Rayla, recognized by Quinn, states, the seat's taken. Quinn utters as he scans the crowded bus, thinking, just my luck. Looks like there are no other seats. Rayla, with an annoyed expression and Chinese characters indicating his displeasure, asks Quinn, what? Got a problem? A blonde-haired student waves from the back, calling out, hey bro, sit here, there's a seat here. To which Quinn responds, oh, okay, thank you, thinking, friendly guy. As Quinn sits, the blonde student extends his hand, saying, hi, I'm Woden, and Quinn shakes it, replying, hello, I'm Quinn. Suddenly, a red system notification pops up before Quinn, stating ability activation detected followed by ability denied, as a small, blue, impolite creature with horns and red eyes appears beside him with a questioning look. Quinn, startled, thinks, what was that? And then wonders about the blue creature. Can he see it? As Woden looks on, seemingly oblivious. The blue creature points towards Woden's hand as Quinn tries to withdraw his own, thinking, that's weird. While the system message ability activation detected ability denied remains visible. Woden laughs, sorry, then asks, what's your ability? While Quinn, pulling his hand back, internally questions, why did he suddenly ask that? As the blue imp looks on, Woden says, I see, this is my first time meeting someone like that, and Quinn, looking downcast, thinks, I guess people like me are rare. Most people our age already have abilities. Sergeant Griff bellows from the front of the bus, what's with all the noise? Shut your filthy mouths. Think this is a picnic? Need me to remind you of military academy rules right now? Causing Quinn, Woden, and other students to cover their mouths in surprise. Quinn, looking awkward next to Woden, internally notes that the strange system notification has been flashing in front of him for a while. He wonders if this is related to the ability book he opened yesterday. Realizing only he can see the status panel displaying race, human, name, Quinn Talon, LV.01, EXP 0-100s, and base stats, also recalling a bunch of info rushing into his brain. With a look of excited realization, Quinn questions if the ability book could have fused with him, as a flashback shows him holding the glowing book. He then wonders if this means he's awakened an ability too, questioning what it could be as the bus travels down the road. Noting that these screens don't show any key information, the bus continues its journey down the street, exhaust fumes trailing behind it. Suddenly, bright sunlight streams through the bus window, causing Quinn to look up with a startled expression. His hand, resting on the window ledge, begins to sizzle and smoke as the sunlight hits it. Quinn recoils in pain, panting heavily as he clutches his burning hand. While a red warning sign flashes before him, the small blue creature reappears, holding up a large red system notification that reads, you are in direct sunlight stats minus 50%, as Quinn looks on in shocked dismay. The chapter concludes with the title card, CHO3 Extraordinary World, I, a Vampire, along with staff credits and a message from witchscans.com. Quinn stares in disbelief, exclaiming, all my stats, cut in half, as his HP visibly drops by 5. The blue imp points at the status panel displaying race, human, name, Quinn Taran, LV. 1. HP 05, and his base stats all at 5, while Quinn curses, damn it. He swiftly pulls the bus curtain shut, questioning, I just got hit by a bit of sunlight, and this ability is that deadly. Behind the drawn curtain, the blue imp watches as Quinn considers, good thing I can recover. A status recovering notification appears and Quinn, clutching his collar, ponders, am I going to have to avoid the sun forever from now on? While Woden inquires, bro, what's wrong? You look super pale. Quinn brushes it off. It's nothing. Probably just didn't sleep well last night. Then Woden offers him water, suggesting, here, drink some water. The ride's still long. You can catch some sleep. Accepting with a thanks, Quinn takes a drink from the water bottle. Abruptly, the blue imp exclaims, drinking water is great. As a system notification materializes, daily task, drink 2 liters of water reward, 5 XP, causing Quinn to splutter and spray the water. Sergeant Griff from the bus's front shouts, yelling like that think you're funny or something. while Quinn nervously responds, and no, it's not like that, instructor. While being commanded, get over here and squat. A mission completed, your amazing message flashes, prompting Quinn to think. Even drinking water counts as a mission, as Woden cautions, bro, slow down, don't choke again. Quinn reflects he's never heard of a skill book like this before. Looking at system missions like drinking water, avoiding sunlight, and reaching level 10, wondering if he's a bat or something. He muses that other people's supernatural powers focus on one ability they grow by studying books. But his feels like a game, and he still can't figure out what his power truly is. Quinn considers that, aside from his improved vision, there doesn't seem to be much else to his newfound abilities. Turning to his seatmate, Quinn begins to ask, Warden, may I ask? He then notices Woden is already fast asleep, drooling, and silently questions how he conked out so fast. Looking around the quiet bus, Quinn finds it strange that everyone else appears to be asleep too, while the blue imp looks on with a question mark. Suddenly, a red system notification flashes before Quinn. Airborne contaminant detected. You feel drowsy, resistance +1. Your resistance to this substance has increased, resistance +1. Startling him. Sergeant Griff, now wearing a gas mask, approaches Quinn, remarking that it seems someone can resist the sleep gas and will need special treatment, deciding to crank up the dose on this kid. As Griff presses a cloth over Quinn's mouth and nose, Quinn lets out a muffled URGH, and the system again warns, airborne contaminant detected. You feel drowsy, the blue imp looking distressed. A large red danger sign overlays Quinn's vision, as he struggles against the overwhelming drowsiness, thinking, so sleepy, before exhaling. Quinn struggles against the overwhelming drowsiness, muttering, my eyes, I can't keep them open. Before succumbing, a hand yanks a cloth off Quinn's head, startling him awake with a jolt. Woden comments, hey dude, you really can sleep, huh? As a disoriented Quinn asks, where are we? Woden speculates they've arrived at the military academy, admitting he also just woke up and hasn't figured things out, while other students mill about. Eileen and Layla are shown, with Layla noting that Peter, who nervously greets them, is the fifth one to awaken. Quinn and Woden turn with surprised expressions towards an unseen development. Test Proctor Jane announces that since the group is awake, it's time for the pre-academy supernatural ability test, instructing them to step forward when their name is called. Jane calls, first up, Peter Chuck, prompting a startled Peter to question me, while internally panicking about immediate test before understanding his own abilities. The proctor, alongside a hooded figure, reassures Peter not to be nervous and asks about his ability, leading him to confess, I don't have one. Layla expresses surprise, some people still don't have powers. But Woden offers encouragement that awakening is still possible, while Quinn reflects he's not alone in lacking abilities. Proctor Jane reassures Peter, telling him to come forward and take a power book so he can gain a supernatural ability too. As the hooded figure beside her presents it, Peter, holding the faintly glowing book, hesitantly asks if it's truly free, and Jane confirms, informing him he'll be classified as a level 1 ability user and should study it. A LVO1 display appears on Peter's wristband, and Jane explains he can retake the test after learning to use his power, prompting a grateful thank you from him. Quinn, noticing a wristband on his own arm, wonders when he put it on. Layla clarifies everyone has one, and Woden adds it stores information, serves as a school pass, and can even be used for snacks, deeming it quite convenient. With Peter now clutching his ability book and looking somewhat relieved, Proctor Jane calls out, next, Quinn Taran. Quinn reacts with a surprised "oh," thinking, my turn already. Proctor Jane inquires about Quinn Taran's ability, and he, noting she clearly has his file, responds, I don't have an ability either. The hooded figure, surrounded by swirling blue energy, then offers Quinn a power book, stating, then here you go too. As Quinn takes the book, a system notification, observed by the blue imp, appears before him, unable to learn this ability, with an option to exchange this book for 10 EXP, causing him to react with a shocked. Quinn, looking down at the book and the small blue creature at his feet, considers that since individuals can only awaken one ability, his inability to learn from this new book must mean he's already an ability user. Quinn internally debates whether he can truly exchange the ability book for EXP, acknowledging he wants to try but fears the inevitable questioning if he does. As Proctor Jane announces, next up is, from an overhead perspective, Quinn politely declines the book, stating, thanks, but I don't need it, which causes Woden, Layla, Eileen, and Peter to look back in surprise.